Hello everybody, and welcome back to part 2 of our review of Heltah Skeltah's Nocturnal album. This is the Classic Quest podcast, the show where we break down the classic hip-hop albums track by track, giving our thoughts and opinions on every single song. My name is Holden Stephan Roy.
I am your lady friend Bonnie.
And yeah, so we already did the intro bit in part 1, and then there was a little time lapse because somebody had some bones removed from her mouth. Technically,
I
teeth are bones, okay?
So I had all 4 wisdom teeth out.
Teeth are bones.
And now I have an infection. So fun stuff. But thank you guys for everybody that was concerned or wrote like a nice little message or asked how I was. Thank you for that.
Which also shows you watched all of part 1.
Yeah.
Y'all are the best.
Yep. So I'll be talking a little bit weird, but you probably won't notice much.
And it explains where part 2 was. It's here. We're doing it right now. Mm-hmm. Anyway, there was a comment that I thought was special. Instead of just, because the other ones were giant. Honestly, it would have been like 8 minutes of reading comments. So check out what DJ Black Hurricane and what Aaron Sisk said on the channel. It was really dope comments. Not gonna lie, big old guys. But the real winner for me this week was Ismail Gadamsi right here on this very comment on part 1 of the Heltah Skeltah Nocturnal review. This is the first album that I didn't know before the review and enjoyed. And I never thought I would see the day. I'm not gonna lie, there was a part of me that deep down in my soul was hoping one day Ismail would be like, y'all showed me an album I liked. And that day came because of Coney Sparks' Patreon request, and that's whose album who was requested. So, all things considered, that was a very cool comment to receive apparently 6 days ago. So thank you for that, Ismail. Mm-hmm. The album quality is consistent, and I really love the dark atmosphere formed by the beats. The only thing I hated is the skits and the useless talking on the outro. A place to be. Fair. I get where you're coming from. That's some we're going to talk about in this very episode.
Yeah.
On that note, I think there's still like half the album to get through. So speaking of a certain... before we get into it, how could I forget? Special thanks to those patrons, Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, DJ Black Hurricane, Jonathan Barnes, Linda Williams, and Coney Sparks. We'll touch on that all at the end, but thank them while y'all still watching. On that note, the truth is this podcast, this very room is the place to be.
Yep, sure is.
All right, Bonnie, how do you feel about this track?
Well, it's kind of cool. It's Ruck does the first verse on this track, and it is tight. And he's basically saying like, be with him or he'll destroy you. Like, kind of, be with us or either you're with us or you're against us kind of situation. And then same sort of thoughts for Rock. I felt like pretty similarly. The beat on this one, I liked it. It was like really smooth, like smooth AF. I liked it a lot. And I liked that it was a little bit jazzy because they kind of throw that in there, and I like that because it kind of gives you like I don't know. I think of jazz, like maybe not everybody thinks this way, but I often think of like happy music and like enjoyable music, and it's not usually, I mean, I'm sure it is sometimes, like dark and whatever, and like that's kind of like what this album is like, sort of. It kind of the overall feel is a little bit dark and grimy.
Well, it is very nocturnal, right? Shall we say?
So I liked that the little bit of like jazziness was kind of thrown in there. It's nice. They're just bragging, and I like this one. I gave it a 4.5 on 5.
Yeah, I like how, again, like you said, I mean, most of the album is basically that core concept of they are pretty powerful folk not to be messed with in any significant way.
Yeah.
But what I loved was the hook on this one. Place to be is on my side, Duke, because you don't want to be the target when I fly the coop. Nah, place to be is on my side, Duke. And then, it's almost like both of them are trying to be like, the truth is, the safest place to be is when I got your back. And collectively, if they're on each other's sides, which is the case here,
yeah,
very clever,
they're untouchable, basically.
Yeah, and then when they fly the coop and do their deed, it is a deadly situation. But what I really liked is how Mr. Price is just like, buenos dias, you know me as Ruck el numero uno, papi chulo, sticking dicks to your chick culo. And I'm like, that's pretty cool how he bilingual it. Now, when I hear bilingual, my natural instinct is English-French because I'm in Quebec and that's just what it is.
But in, I think the United States, it's always with Spanish.
Yeah, like that actually does make more sense. But I just like the way he flowed it, and he basically multilingual rhymed, which was pretty cool, and I think we need more of. But
Yeah.
the truth is, Latinos are very fun people, and he wants to stick his penis inside of them, and he did it in a way that is way cooler than most people would describe, I think. Anyway, like, overall, it's the same kind of stuff as I believe we professed on it in the first verse, just ill rhyming, like, snatch an MC off the rap back for the simplest fact he's whack, so what's the deal? I feel you can't step to Sean, wigging out on a bitch ass since Decepticons transform. Amazing line, right? Because Decepticons is like a transformer thing, so that's like the 80s.
Yeah.
It's very smart. And then at the same time, I believe
I think I said something about Megatron before, so I think
But,
that, or in the first part, so that kind of explains it.
But I'm also, if I'm not mistaken, that was the name of the little crew that they actually rode with when they did some ruckus once upon a time. So it's almost like a double entendre to when we were in our, like, younger days doing a little more different things per se. But also Transformers. Hella cool. I really like that shit. The plan's on, but I wish Mary J. Blige would remind me. I don't know if she had a song called that or just everybody likes Mary J. Blige. I don't.
Yeah.
Take my hoodie off. I can't see behind me. Why those guys chose to defy laws of the Most High. Most guys get this shit wrapped in gauze. Place to be is on my side. I just like the way he can seamlessly switch up a rhyme scheme and like kind of almost chop it up. Like everything will flow when you do the math on the beat in a sense, but it almost feels like you can just do these jarring rhyme shifts in a way that sounds natural and sounds like it was just meant to be like that, which is actually pretty cool when you like do that. Like, I don't know, lately when I look at the lyrics and stuff, I try to do that crap where I color code it in my mind to map out the rhyme schemes and stuff, and I really enjoy it, just the way you can fuck with it. And then Rock comes in and does his verse, which is the same kind of deal. I like Sean's rhyming, but I really like Rock's flow. So the way he just kind of goes quicker, slower with it, just kind of keeps it. I feel like Rock was a little more consistent on this one. But I really just, I don't know, it's hard to say which I like better. I kind of like having both, and that really made me happy on this track. But Rock's got cool lines like, so somebody tell the fat lady she's up in 5 minutes. She's about almost finished right after I take care of witnesses. Roaming the premises, not minding the business. Images in your melon telling you the jit. I mean, same kind of deal. I don't have like a whole lot more to really comment on the verses of it. It's just these two little verses. It comes in a little bit quicker. If I'm not mistaken, this is one of the shorter things on it, right? So the track before it is almost twice as long as this one. Well, a little less. 1.5 times as long safely. And I don't know, I really thought it was cool, but I don't 100% remember the talking outro that Ismail references, but maybe that's to the point. I gave it a 4.35. I feel like it did trail on. I wanted more rap. That's just kind of what it is. I like the chorus as a concept, but I do think the verses were the selling point. The beat was ridiculously good. I'm okay with the hook. It's not my favorite, okay? But it's a really amazing track, all things considered, like compared to... Like from a rhyming perspective, it's A+. Absolutely. Like rapping type, A+. Hook wise, okay, I could live without it. Anyway, this is one of the lowest grades I gave. It's been like actually a minute in all honesty since I revisited what I gave grades to. Usually I do this a little fresher and closer to it, but I'll trust myself. I give it a 4.35 on 5. And then I'm pretty consistent for the rest of the album, as we'll get to. Do you have anything more to comment on this one?
Nope.
Well, the truth is, if we say the wrong thing, the fans, also known as soldiers of various artists, can go do stuff like Gone Psycho. Soldiers, Gone Psycho.
Terrible.
No, it wasn't. Allow me to just quote something a little bit here.
Okay.
Lives I ruin. In this here shit we pursuing. My parabellum be swelling cerebellums when you dwell in that caucasoid you void, cause my rebellion, who in the hell ever said you can dwell whether? I'm just like, whoo! Like, I don't know. I had one of those moments where I wanted to make a lot of obnoxious noises, and I think every time I've heard that, I feel like I have to go like a whoo, or something, because that was just tight. That was just really fresh. That was the kind of like okay, it's like flossing complicated language for the sake of it. Let's be real. Like, it's not like A plus. Like, from like a language perspective, those are not $10 words. Those are like $3.50. If the average word is like $1, I'll be completely real with y'all.
Okay.
But it fronts in a way where it comes off like $10 words. The way he swells it all together, meshing it on that rhyme scheme. Just the way it flows. Oh, I don't know. I really like the way he does that. Like, wordplay wise, okay, it's Ruck. I'm not trying to be a hater by any means because somebody tagged him on it. And so in case he tagged on the other review. I don't know if you watched it, but in case he watches this, dog, your flow is ridiculous. Not trying to be a hater at all. Sean Price has ridiculous wordplay in general, so that's just what it's like I said.
They're both great.
I'm really into this. Like, this album is up there in memorable pieces where I'm like, ooh, even 19-year-old me would have been all over this. Like, it's not often like young me and me now both would have been all over this, and I feel kind of silly having not heard it. The beat is nice. I like the little intro, like, back from the realms of the darkness, dark kill patience, and it's just like, it sets you up. It feels almost cinematic in nature in the way this song comes in from the beat perspective. It just feels cool. The rhymes is proper. It's the same kind of stuff, but less will kill you and more we're intense and we're scary and powerful, you know? Still good, but more power. I felt like this one felt a little less defensive and a little more like I was getting hit, if that makes any sense. I like when Mr. Price is like, I be a boot camp veteran, no better than to test me, see I gets nasty like medicines. So Hussein, not me or Ruck, not only Saddam. Boy, moms should have warned you about a walking time bomb. I was like, damn, I wonder if he had any idea what was going to come with these kinds of lines. But it's pretty strong. And it's interesting just to see like a name like Saddam just like casually thrown around like that in a rhyme in hindsight. Because like when people did it like after in the 2000s, it was a very different tone and understanding of the word.
He was obviously in 1996, he was being a bad guy and he was pretty famous and in the news and stuff like that. So it's not
Was it the same? Actually, I was kind of...
Saddam Hussein.
But was it the same reaction? The same like level of fear? The same level of hatred?
I think he's always been, or always was, a crazy dictator.
I really don't know. It's possible that I might be wrong on this point.
Pretty sure.
Okay, well, whatever.
You don't end up just, living in a hole for nothing.
Anyway. Boy, your mom should have warned you about walking time bomb. I breaks arms and necks and straight up I bend the mass up, so send me any penny, any punk for me to bash him. See, it's very attacking me with the lyrics, like I was saying. More like...
Like a soldier that maybe has gone psycho.
That's true. Well, Bonnie, you got a really good hook on this one. Will all the true warriors in the house say aye?
Aye.
Say aye if you're not as scared to die.
Aye.
You can look a nightmare square in the eye. Say aye.
Aye.
Soldiers gone psycho. Why? I like it. That's a good hook. That one just felt like a banger-ass feel to me. Got 2 more verses on this track. And we have, again, Mr. Price starting us off. And it was cool how they reversed the order, because the last one, it was Rock first, Rock second, and then they flipped the order this time. And it's nice how, like, they don't really seem to follow, like, a set structure. And I say that because...
They're just like team players. They're just like, okay, you do this, you do whatever. Like, come in when you're ready. Or, like, I don't know how it works. But it's just, like, easy, chill. Like, you can tell that they're buddies.
But like, I only bring that up because, well, it might seem like, well, no shit when you hear it like that. When you listen to something, and the album I have in mind is Fat Joe and Remy Ma's Plateau au Ploma, and no disrespect to the album, it's a pretty fun pop album, not really deep in any significant way, but it was formulaic to a point where it felt like, okay, Fat Joe's gonna rap, then Remy's gonna rap, Guest's gonna have a verse, and like, there was no flip up. Most tracks, each of them had one verse. That was it. There was no like cut each other off verses. There was almost like no reverse. It was just Fat Joe had a verse, Remy had a verse. Fat Joe had a verse, Remy had a verse. Like pretty much the whole album, to a point where you could almost predict how the song was. They were all like 3.5-minute songs. They were all the same kind of shit. So I find it almost
like a real sellout album. It sounds like.
Yeah, because you know how surprised I was Fat Joe could rap? Like because we did some of the DITC stuff for those that don't know, and it was like, yo, Fat Joe is not the same as what he became, we'll say.
Yep.
However, he probably has many bags at this point. I don't know if that's true or not, but he did get a Grammy
At least a
nom.
few wallets.
Well, he got a Grammy nomination for All the Way Up, doo, 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 which
Yeah.
it's fine. Had 2 features. There's even a lawsuit over that song right now. I don't know if that's relevant to anything. I watch State of the Culture, which is the show that has Remy Ma on it, so stuff comes up. Anyway. So all true warriors in our house say I. And I like the way he brings the chorus through. If you scared to die, then punk don't reply. The year you're born, I sworn to devour the unjust, to crush the ones who were cowards. And that's cool, right? Because even in this, like, psychotic attack from a soldier, it isn't just, like, aimless. There's a logic to it. It's, yo, I'm going after a particular negligible force to society, like the type of leechy toxic stuff. It's almost like Sean Price be a superhero in like a villainous capacity, like he presents like a villain, right?
Yeah.
And then it's really like the integrity.
You could look at it like they're sort of supposed to be like Batman or something.
Yeah, like a dark hero, and like in the sense where sure at surface value it could come off a way, but I really appreciate how these guys seem very full of integrity in the way that they approach this shit. It isn't just like wonton selfish, I'm about me. Yeah, certainly he's gonna slap fools, relax when tools in his presence, because that ain't shit, because your murder is the essence. Mm-hmm. But the truth is you were a coward and you were acting like it can't happen.
Like a little bitch.
And that's the problem, right? So if you weren't acting that way and you were offering him the respect, if you understood, if you catch my drift, then it wouldn't be a situation. And I think that like the tone matters for this type of thing. There's a difference between I'm gonna fucking rob you and fuck your bitch and this. That's all I'm trying to say. Tone difference. I mean, the rest of the verse could be constructed by adding in the bars that make it consistently about a small egoed selfish move. Like, let's be real, you trying to fuck my bitch because you feel bad for some reason. I don't know. That's a weird motivation to me. It's a flex, but it's a weird one from my point of view.
Right.
Instead of that, being like, yo, coming in with proper lines, like, when guns spark is war for real, kid. Don't start this, rock this monster, stomp your braids and never change and forever face rearranging. You're gaming the gamer, kid. You know this shit don't work, so bring your game here and get your stupid ass hurt. Flowing in with that main rhyme scheme, adding in a couple little extra ones there at the end with the work and the hurt. And it's just strong. It's just like, I'm gonna rap at you, and I'm gonna do it in a way where my flow is sick, and the rhyming is tight. And that's just how we're gonna kill it. Now, who wanna come and test the champion, boot campion, soldier? End of the day, they're part of the clique, they rep the squad, and they do it through excellent fucking rhyming. And I feel like a lot of the people today heard this kind of stuff and missed the nuance of the integrity and what like the little differences, right? Because there's probably lots of other dudes who didn't have that, but that's what makes me like these guys. Anyway, this is probably the grade you're going to hear a lot and repeat for a while on this album. It's going to be a 4.5. It's a fucking banger. It's not like every day all the time banger for me. It's as far as like the lyrical stuff goes, this ranks pretty high in what I've heard in terms of both hitting me on flow and really crazy fun wordplay. Anyway.
Well, yeah, so they're just sort of talking about how like, everybody's just kind of gone crazy and like how everybody, like, you know, if you're like you already mentioned, like, you know, if you're not not scared to die, then you are like the true warrior, you're the true soldier. And I thought it was interesting because like maybe like I can't really remember what was going on in 1996 in the States in terms of like where soldiers were sent and stuff like that. Like there was
Iraq
in 1996.
There
was like Bosnia.
No, they were bombing.
And
They were bombing Iraq, and then there was Serbia.
I know there was Bosnia. There was.
Or did Serbia come later?
See, we don't know.
I'm not.
But I don't know if this was necessarily like about kind of like what was going on, like kind of questioning like why soldiers go crazy, because they're shooting people in close range and bombing homes and doing things like that. Like, so I mean, it's obviously makes sense that soldiers tend to sometimes go psycho. I guess we probably wouldn't necessarily use that term as of now, and PTSD would just be what we'd be using.
Bosnia was 95.
Right.
Kuwait was 96.
Oh.
Albania, Central African Republic was 96. There's a lot of conflicts in the 90s.
Well, yeah, that's when like the Hutus and the Tutsis and like all of that were like.
That was earlier in the 90s.
Yeah, it was like 1992, 1991.
I think there was as many in the. Anyway, that's not really relevant.
There's just always wars. So fun.
Most of the U.S. history has been at war.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that they're just sort of kind of talking about the fact that it also leaves, all of this violence and stuff like that also leaves mental scars on people, and not just the people who are necessarily committing, not the crimes, but I think, and maybe like in their case, they're talking more about crimes, like maybe they're seeing it like a war zone or something, like in their hood or whatever. But I mean, I think they could also be talking about real soldiers. So it's just sort of like, people having to deal with constantly seeing and being witness to like gun violence and, having to deal with that, and that's on their minds. And people often in like poor neighborhoods, unfortunately, don't often get like the help that they need. The resources just aren't there for them. If they're dealing with, there's everything else that they're dealing with. They're trying to stop all these crimes, but they're also not dealing with like the mental side of things, and how that can like really screw a person up for, a long period of time. And, it's normal to be like that, because we are humans, right? You're not supposed to be seeing people get blown up and stuff all the time. Like, I don't think that that's human nature. Well, that's just my opinion. But so yeah, it's just sort of about like needing therapy sessions, and I think that that's kind of ties back to the previous song about therapy, is having to deal with this shit and like talk about it and get things out in the open, and maybe they or him or one of them, or I don't know exactly, but maybe one of them or somebody close to them or people that they know, or maybe just the community itself feels like it's suffering from PTSD after seeing like all sorts of like violence and shit, and like black people getting attacked by the police and like all these other terrible things that were happening and continue to happen. Which is why they kind of mention that they don't really fuck with gangs, because they want to stay away from that life. They don't want to get involved in that. Like they can still be tough soldiers, like they can still be like a positive fighting force, without being involved with gangs. So I think that that's kind of my interpretation. So I thought that this song was pretty nice. I gave it a 4.35 on 5.
That's fair. I'm glad you said all that. It sounded a lot smarter than me gushing over cerebellums and stuff.
But I don't know if it's right, so that's what I took.
Anyway, so what happens when you take a rock, and a featured act called the Representativs?
You get the square.
Triple R. All right, Bonnie. Keep the smart stuff coming.
Oh, I don't have much to say about this.
Just do it. Go. Smart stuff.
Something about a square. It's a quadrilateral. That's sort of right? Yeah?
It is.
Haven't been in high school in a long time.
It might be, but it's definitely quadra.
Yeah. So this is like a posse cut. It's got their buddy on it.
It is a quadrilateral.
Yeah.
You got it right.
Math. So yeah, they're just sort of, I mean, I don't really have too much to say about this one. It's just sort of like a posse cut. They're expressing that they're our worst nightmare, that they're the guys that come out at night. The beat is creepy and grimy, as well as what they're saying is kind of creepy and grimy. For me, like, I just...
Bonnie.
What?
We equal MC squared.
I know, but I just don't get it.
Okay, because E equals MC squared. That is energy and mass and something. I'm certain somebody in the comments will correct me. It's not the point, because it rhymes with we as in the squad,
Uh-huh.
equal
Right.
MC squared, as in an MC multiplied by an MC,
Yeah.
creating a super MC.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are also a bunch of guys, because I think there's 4 of them on this track.
Mm-hmm.
And every corner locked down. 4 corners take positions, 4 soldiers. Everywhere you turn, there's 1 boy. But they're the triple R, because there's only 3 R things involved in this situation.
Like, is it 3 or is it 4? Is this a triangle or
it's
is this
because
a square?
there are 2
Just a
guys that make up, from what I can tell, there are 2 guys that make up the Representatives.
Yes.
So there's Ruck, Ross, not Ross.
Ruck and Rock.
Ruck, Rock, and the Representatives, triple R. The square is because there's the 4 of them and they're MC squared. They're doubled up.
Right.
Doubled up. Squaring that shit. We equal MC
There's
squared.
too much math on this one. I get us a 4.25 on.
It's not that hard to follow, okay? Do I need to draw pictures here? Like, it's Ruck, Rock, and Representatives. See, the triple R, your worst nightmare. We equals MC squared, because there's 4 of them.
But why is it the triple if they're going to be 4?
3
it's
R's.
Just crazy.
Because there's 3 R's in the situation.
Does not compute.
There's Ruck
Beep, boop, beep, boop,
and
beep.
Rock. Those are 1/2 of the square, representing half the MCs.
Represent, y'all.
But from an R perspective of the R's, there are 2 of the 3 R's. Then there's Representatives, which is the other half of the squared, doubled up. Woo! And they're the
get it.
3rd R.
I get it.
Did you actually get it this whole time you're being a dick?
A little bit.
You're Ruck, fuck you. When push came to shove, then I pushed and shoved slugs in a mug when he show us no love. All you gotta do is show these guys love. I don't understand it. If you hate or you don't show love, you get slugs. So rock all the love.
Just going to carry a bucket full of slugs and just dump them on you.
Anyway. Who,
I know that slugs means bullets, guys. I know.
It does mean bullets. Yo, who's the square? We're square with the back bender. I beat blood out your #1 contender. The Representatives are sent to give drama when I sneak up behind you to put space in your back like a comma. Not only did we get math on this track, he's using actual grammar laws to represent fucking shooting you in the back.
Yeah.
If you are watching this, Mr. Rock, that was fantastic. As a geek, that is one of the coolest bars ever. I'm sorry. That is fresh as fuck, because what do you do after it's comma space? You put a space in the back of a comma. Fuck. Oh, that's just fresh to me. I don't know why, but it just is. Then there's Lidu Rock, who's somebody. I'm going to assume a representative. People be acting like ladies, and if they try to play me, Lidu Rock will come through and wet your block like the Navy. Now, what I appreciate is, as I used to not really like people saying their names on tracks. Now I kind of get it when you're the featured dude on somebody else's album.
Well, it's your little chance to say, hey, here I am, pay attention to me.
When you're listening to it 20-something years later, or whatever, it's nice to have them say their name so you can identify which one it is. Because that's a little bit harder 20-something years later. So I get it more. And I don't know how y'all feel about naming. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of saying my name. I don't know if that's something I believe I would do on a verse. But I respect it more just as a reviewer and appreciate it almost. Anyway, displaying my on point God the square cute label me that smoke the Grim Reaper. It's fine. I have a lot to comment. He is not quite the same as the other guys, but he sounds good next to the other guys. I don't have like as much to comment. However, I enjoy it when I hear it, if that makes any sense to you. Like the flow is real nice. Lyrically, it's not rock and rock. Then we have Mr. Price, man to battle station as they plan to rattle a nation. Rock, Lidu Rock, and Supreme, the team you be facing. My mind's placing between a rock and a hard place. Whew, nice. That's cool, because there's a rock. That's his boy that he's rolling with, which is a nice way to... Anyway. Manny's like, can we stop this? Rock's my man and a hard place, and y'all gay. And I was like, that is the worst line I think I've heard on the album.
Yep.
Like, he broke it down worse than I did. I'm like, that's okay. Y'all don't hate me here, please. But I mean, I appreciate how he's his man, and it's the hard place, but it's one of those times where you're like, that's the insult and y'all gay? That's your big end. It's like, y'all gay. Okay, we're happy. I know that's not what he meant. I know it's another word. I even censored the other word earlier because I think it's on a list of bad words for YouTube. They'll let you say bitch a whole bunch, but you can't say the F word. And I don't mean fuck. Anyway, Lidu rocks back on the next verse. It's aight. Transform like Decepts into cubic shape and dare anyone test this. I don't roll with the best fish. It's aight. I mean, I appreciate him. I just don't think he's giving me the same level of reactions.
Yeah.
Like, Rug comes in with, we equal MC squared, dare, tempt me, empty, shells, now you're laying where the players and pimps be. I'm like, that's pretty proper. Just the way he flowed that, the way he did that empty shells to make it rhyme with tempt me, empty, is pretty good. I really like that. I feel like he just rhymes like a freaking boss, that's all I'm trying to say. See, I'm R-rated, pa hated when I made it in your rap game, cause your plane's been invaded. I laced it like sneakers and funny cigarettes. Get wet from flows they ass couldn't figure yet. And I'm like, I get where he's coming from. His flow's pretty hard to figure because I'm not really doing it justice, but there's a lot of nuances to the, like when you're really fucking with flow proper, it's not the seconds. It's not like the beats. It's like the micro half of a second is like the difference between a flow being like ridiculously tight and just regular. Like it's being able to put that microcosm of a pause on your timing in such a way where it just fucks it up, and it really is something like people's asses can't figure it, and I really like the way he does it. Then we have Supreme, the final part of the squares. Make your way for the bum rush, get touched. If you think you're tough, bring in the drama. If your crew's rough, what? For motherfucks helping your visual. Deliver blows to foes in my peripheral. And again, I felt the same. This is not as good as the other guys, but it's fine. It fits. It's okay. I don't really have a lot more to say about him. Rock ends this off. I'm glad that most of it's rock and rock on this one, right? Like, they're really holding it down, you know? They really do it proper. But we 2MC squared equal 4 rated triple R. I like that. See, he did the math for us in the equation.
Thank you.
So it's MC squared equals 4 rated triple R. So it's 4 times triple rated R. So it's 12 R's.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't think we're supposed to do the math.
No, sorry. It's we 2MC squared equal 4 because 2 squared is 4. Mm-hmm. And those 4 are rated triple R. So it's a triple R rating on the MC squared.
My brain's melting.
I get it. When will you piranhas learn, Bonnie? And Bonnie, you are the piranha in this sentence that I said. When will you, Miss Piranha Lady, word, biting my shit? Larry, you Fishburne. Get it? It's Lawrence Fishburne.
I'll bite you later.
I think it's Lawrence Fishburne. Is it? Yeah, it is. I clicked on Genius. Get it? Larry, you Fishburne?
Yep.
I liked it. Anyway, it's just fun. I liked it. I think this one is a great track, worthy of being another. Guess what the grade is, Bonnie?
What?
4.5 was the answer.
No, okay.
And what is your grade?
It was a 4.25.
Which is basically a 4.5. Anyway.
Let's talk about the Wiggy.
I like it when you wiggle. All right, Bonnie. Give us the intelligent wisdom of the Wiggy. The Wiggy.
Well,
Wiggy. It's a fun word.
It's fun. It's Ruck like basically kind of like comes in, he serves it hard, and like he's got great rhymes and they're like great and they're true. And like there's like a cartoon character voice somewhere in there. I feel like it kind of sounds like, or it sounded like
the Wiggy thing?
Yeah.
Wiggy.
Wiggy, or whatever. It sounded like a cartoon. I didn't know if it was like from something or if it was just like a noise that they did or like how they altered like the voice. Obviously, I'm going to beat you to it. I'm going to say some of Rock's lines that like stood out to me. To come and try and stop me, Rock be a champion soldier, a folger like coffee.
Oh, it's just so good.
Wipe your mouth. Tell him wipe your mouth was in your bitch, back up off me. So I thought it was It was great. It was good rhyming. I thought that it kind of worked. And I like that there's like this flow, like even
You
in
have
here.
to comment on the Folgers bar, Bonnie.
Yes, obviously. That's why I brought it up.
But
So-
comment on the Folgers bar.
Okay, so there's the Folgers bar. But I also wanted to, first of all,
was the
mention
worst.
that he says a champion soldier. So I think it's interesting that they kind of like tie previous messages into like later songs. Like it all kind of like comes together. At least in my mind it does. And so obviously, you know, Folgers, like coffee.
But the way he says it almost sounds like Folger, like he's gonna take you out and
Yeah,
break
he's
you
gonna
and
like
snap
fold you or
in half.
something. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Ah, so good.
Yeah, and it's really cool. The rhymes are like super tight again. And then like those like cartoon or alien voices or whatever they're supposed to be, I found a little bit kind of annoying. But whatever. I mean, it sounds like underground, grimy again. It's great. It's kind of goofy, which is kind of like nice to incorporate because like, you know, there's been like a few kind of like more aggressive or whatever type sound, like, you know, not angry because they're not angry, but they're just like grimy and like dark. So it's nice that there's like a little bit of goofiness to this one, I found. But it also doesn't necessarily stand out to me. But I gave this a 4 on 5. I thought it was fun, and that's pretty much it.
The Wiggy Wiggy Wiggies absolutely stood out because nothing else sounded like the Wiggy Wiggy
Yeah.
Wiggies.
Yes.
Allow me to be clear. The level of self-awareness that Sean Price drops when he goes, "'Cause half of the time, half of the rhymes are absurd." It's pretty good. I guess not really self-awareness. I just really enjoy listening to that bar. I serve justice. Must this be the answer? Just the way you did that. Justice. Must this be the answer? See, a lot of people might not have added that like extra little thing, but he does it in a way where he almost introduces new sentences, and when you think about it, you kind of, the sentences are, "I serve justice, must this be the answer?" But the way he says it, it's like, "I serve justice, must this be the answer?" Like he just does it in a way where it just strings the sentences together, breaks the grammar rules. For my gun to click, terminal like cancer. I'm like, terminal cancer is pretty sad. But yeah, his gun will end you in a slow, long, and painful way where the radiation will make your hair fall out.
Yep.
That's how his gun will fuck you up. And the answer, ruck and rock for a thou. I like that, playing up on that game show shit. Now, how the fuck did you come up with that style? Woo! Because if you think about Jeopardy, you have to guess the question. And the question is, how the fuck did you come up with that style? Oh, we stole it from Rock and Rock. Oh,
Don't
did
do
they see
that.
you? Sing songs with 6-packs. This one I smoke 7. Get it? Because it's a 6-pack and it's 7 grams of the says. We called them a set up in Quebec. And it took me forever to realize that a set is the French word for 7. Saying 7 gram.
Oh, not like a set.
I don't know. That's my guess because it's such a freaking, why would you go 3-5 and go set? Like, why would you say that
I guess, eh?
Because it would be a 3-5, or if y'all in your versions of shit, because most people, a half, or a quarter, or an eighth, which I find that baffling, because in our world, it's a 3-5, a set, not a sevens.
Yeah.
I mean, some people will say a sevens, and then nobody goes 7. So a set or a sevens, a 14s. I don't know why we always had the S. Do you guys have the S when you guys describe your marijuana purchasing sites? And then the OZ. Because who the fuck says an ounce? It's an OZ.
OZ.
OZ. It's nicer sounding.
Yeah, but it's Canadian.
Yeah, but it's weed. It's just different language. I'm just saying.
Canadian weed.
Anyway, I really like this track. I like how Rock comes through and he does his little part there. The way he flows it again is just fantastic. Then when I flow like the Nile River, that's when I deliver enough slugs to your chest, make your whole body shiver. And then he says a word that kind of rhymes with it. Wonder why the irrational God Rock be flipping like I was Mary Lou written with nines that be wetting. I don't really know who that Mary Lou lady is, but damn, I like the way he flows it. I can't describe enough how much I really enjoy the flow, and it's just creative, right? Like, it's different words, it's different sounds. So often in a lot more of the less talented cats, it's gonna be a lot of like the same rhyme schemes, like a lot of the same rhymes, as in like they figured out how to rhyme the A sound, because A is one of the easiest things in the world. But I feel like we're getting them consistently taking on harder multi-syllabic combinations of sounds, which basically lets them talk about the same thing 17 times over practically and make it sound fresh every single time. And for that, I really appreciate it. Plus, when he goes, so flee from your fucking face, double jeopardy, which even ties into the earlier Jeopardy line a little bit, but it's also like a different thing, and I don't remember what double jeopardy is, but
Double Jeopardy.
wasn't there a movie that came out around that time also called Double Jeopardy?
Yes, and it was with what's her face and that guy, and they were on a boat.
And it was the 90s.
And it was the 90s.
Anyway.
And she came back with a vengeance and killed her husband again.
And then, I'll praise rock, I rule in hip hop. Fools will get dropped if him got the balls to stand when I'm licking shots. If not, I got the bright red dots. Same kind of shit, but again, just the way he keeps the sounds flipping up, I really enjoy. I don't have a lot more to comment of anything specific that like stood out to me as a ridiculous rhyme. They're all good. The flow is, when I say that, I don't mean that anything is subpar here. It is excellent. This is another 4.5 because it's just freaking great to me. It's basically just like, I felt like at this point it was just banger after banger after banger, and I'm like, wow, this is album consistency with a high level of quality. Did you give a grade?
Yeah.
Well, yo, Bonnie, you want to help me with getting ass? Getting ass?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Woo! It's good to know, if anything, that cheesy comments were ineffective back then too. For all the rappers, I guess I just figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
It just clicked that this is satire. That, like, you have on every other rapper's the fucking skit where dudes call up and it's like, yo, bro, yo, it's me. Oh, I'm gonna get laid. Oh, yeah, let me come suck your friend's dick too. And that's just kind of how a lot of those skits end up going, and it's very unrealistic and very corny. So what do we have here? Basically, a corny mocking them kind of skit, I feel. Or maybe this is meant to be comical, or maybe it's not satire.
Yeah.
But it sounds so like these guys honestly wouldn't approach women like that. It sounds like they're making fun of those skits, because they've called everyone corny in the last couple of songs, right?
Okay.
And I'm running a theory. Y'all can tell me, Holden, you're stupid in the comments that that's what it is. But, because, like, my first thought was, this is, like, the worst game ever. And then, like, you know, I got yo, bring your friend. And everything just sounds so, like, corny. But then I realized...
This is what people did in the 90s.
Was this what it was like, dating? You'd call up a girl and be like, come through.
I don't think this is quite dating.
The Netflix and chill. I guess this is just the 90s Netflix. I don't know. I just thought it was the stupidest fucking skit. Like, it wasn't, okay, it's no Dr. Dre. I have a tiny dick complex level of stupid, because I am convinced Dr. Dre has a tiny penis at this point in time.
Yeah, but it can't be that small. Eminem, like, you know, enjoys it.
Did you guys ever see the video where it almost looks like Eminem's like, and then you blew me or whatever, and Dre looks like he's gonna fucking kill him? He doesn't.
Exposed.
But there is that video, and it looks like he's about to say it, and it's fucked up, but... I don't like this song.
Well, it's a skit. It's like it's a minute 16. It's not that long.
It's just not... It doesn't do anything for me in a funny way. It's kind of interesting to hear Game in the 90s, I guess, if this is sincere, or I hope it's more making fun of those other people's skits.
I don't know. I mean, I took something else away from it, I guess.
What did you take from it?
What was your grade?
I give it a 3.5. I like how they had bootleg tapes.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is basically just like, they call up a girl that they know, and he's basically like, I got some weed, I just rented some movies, so there's your Netflix.
Bootleg movies.
Whatever. He's got, you know, movies, and, you know, he wants to hang out, and then, you know, like, oh, and then, you know, maybe we can get down, maybe we can, you know, put that in there too. And then she's like, oh, so that's what this is about, like, and he just kind of like laughs and then like sings at her, and it's kind of like funny and it's cute. And I'm sure I experienced something like this on more than one occasion, where a guy has called me up and like, I got this, you want to come over? Trying to, like, you know, work his ways. So for me, this wasn't like a satire. This was just like them like calling up a girl and doing what guys do. So I thought it was cute. I gave it a 4.5 on 5.
All right. Well,
Leflaur, Eshkoshka.
so you may be wondering where Eshkoshka comes from.
Eshkoshka.
Well, thankfully, Complex interviewed Sean Price. And in response to asking about the title of the song, Sean goes, "That was a fluke." Well, not a fluke, but it was an accident. We used to play this game. We were in my crib smoking. Me, Rob, and Stephan were playing a Sega Genesis game called Coach K College Basketball, where you could shatter the backboard. Stephan broke the backboard on me and yelled, "Eshkoshka." We don't know what that shit means. He just yelled at, and we started laughing at him. Moving along, they signed a demo, they signed a deal, they're putting together some stuff. And then he just said out of nowhere, Sean Price, "The name of this here is Leflaur, Leflah, Eshkoshka." And I don't even know what it means. There's no meaning to it. It means absolutely nothing. We were just bugging the fuck out. Hashtag Sean Price. I just thought
Rest in peace.
y'all might really appreciate that little breakdown of that little intro, because what is the beginning of the song? Why, it's that line I just referenced. Yeah, the name of this shit right here is the Leflaur, Leflah, Eshkoshka.
Yeah.
Anyway, how do you feel about this Leflaur, Leflah, Eshkoshka song?
So this is the song that I knew before I came into this album review, I guess. I don't know if it was like on like a million, like, you know, on like some website or on like a list of like random songs I should look up, or if somebody had like suggested it in the comments or something. Like, I don't know how I came across this song, but I do remember having gone through it and like listened to it just to see if it was something that I would be interested in maybe doing for a lyrical breakdown. So yeah, I mean, that's good. I definitely have heard this title before. I thought it was funny, and also, you know, kind of talking about us being French, because like Leflaur is just like something that's like really common to us.
It's a
like,
freaking restaurant that sells ham, fries, and hot dogs.
Poutine, and it's like.
Have you guys had poutine? Do you guys
like,
have poutine in your various American cities, especially American and
I
non-American
think it's becoming
viewers?
a little bit more like out there. Like, I feel like you can
We'll
kind of
bring
see
in some
it.
curd cheese sometime and show it to y'all. You're like, we can Google that.
Yeah, but you can't get it. So yeah, anyways, this is just like another sort of posse cut, sort of. It's smooth, it's enjoyable. They're all like having like a pretty good time, and they're all pretty good. Like, there's not like one that's like necessarily like so much better than the other. I think it really is like a team effort on this one. I liked it, and like I think that they really kill it. It's super fun and easy to listen to. Like, I love like the heaviness of it. Like, just something about like the way that it pulled me down. Like, I don't know if that's like a weird way to describe a song, but like it had like a heaviness to it. I don't know. I don't know what like the title means, and I guess they don't either. So I thought that was fun and whatever. I gave it a 4.4 on 5. I thought it was pretty sick. I liked it. It was good.
That's fair. So apparently, Styrang was Gun Clapper number 1, Louisville is Gun Clapper number 2, and Top Dog is Gun Clapper number 3 as part of the Gun Clappers, mixed out with Heltah Skeltah, and you got the Fab 5. And I thought that was cool. I'm not sure if that's the same thing as the boot camp click. Shit, I fucked that
You
up.
can never say it.
Because I didn't Google it, and I should have. So either way, I'm going to Google it. You can still put the comment if you want to correct me, but well, that's cool. My favorite line from Starang Wanda is when he goes, "Make all y'all motherfuckers wonder where I come from, cause motherfuck Dapper Dan. I'm a Gun Clapper fan, plus I'll run rappers, man." And I like that because Dapper Dan's the suit guy from New York. So, like, if you're wearing Dapper Dan, I guess it identifies you in a specific way or a specific thing. So he's like, fuck that, I'm this, and I'll kill rappers. I'm gonna murk it. I really liked it. It was a cool start to this. And then, of course, Rock comes through. Next to Snap a Neck, Be Big, R, get it, Snap a Neck,
Yep.
which is cool because that was fun. Big ROCK send MCs to me in squads of 3. Say Rockness Monster, is he for real? It can't be. See him in action as he transform. That's man's me. I don't know. I just kind of felt like grandiose in a way that kind of followed suit with what we've gotten from him most of it. I like when he goes phone home or return like Jedi. I bet I can be without law. Give your stupid ass the red eye. And that was pretty cool.
And phone home is like an ET reference.
Because it just seems spaced out, like when you're getting high. I really dug it. Top Dog is next, and he's alright. I don't know if he really said anything that got me going nuts over it, but he said it all well. Ruck is next up on this track. He controls the masses with metaphors that's massive. Don't ask if the Ruck will bash shit like Cassius. I'm drastic when it comes to verbs I be flipping, because herbs just be shitting off the words I be kicking. I don't know, man. His flow's fun.
Tight.
It was really nice. That was really cool. That was really dope. I really like that. I don't know. He keeps doing it. What else am I supposed to say? He just consistently has been doing shit like that with the way he rhymes, and it's very fun. Louisville Slugger is next. Guess who, punk chump? Your brain just blew. It's the original gun clap at 2, rushing through 3 on 3. You can't see because we stay tight. Not too many people want to fight. It just doesn't have the same like bang to it, but it's still alright. It's still proper, you know? Then the chorus comes in. Then what I really like in the next verse is how Rock and Louisville Slugger go back and forth a little bit and just kind of bounce off each other, and it was nice. It just kind of flowed a little squatty. Top Dog does the next verse, and then it's alright. Again, I don't have a lot to comment. I feel like short of just reading you all the lyrics, it's pretty good. It's got a solid flow to it. Starring Wanda and Ruck do the same kind of thing, but Ruck here has, again, because he's pretty, like, first of all, Starring Wanda says dungarees and wannabes, and it rhymes those two things, and I think dungaree is just one of those words that should always be given credit when it's said. It's a fun word.
I think Australians say it a lot more.
Well, I'm not Australian, so it's pretty damn significant up here in not Australia. We're literally the other end of the world.
Yeah, I've been there. It's not a fun voyage to get to.
Anyway, please get off your knees and follow these. Now swallow these buckshots from the rifle. Get it? Because if you're on your knees, it's like a blowjob thing. And when you're swallowing it, these nuts. Instead, it's buckshots from the rifle. Flips it, and he's gonna make people beat it and scream like Michael. And I'm like, that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. That's pretty fun. And then yeah, that's about all I got to say about this one. Except how it ends is pretty good. When I roar like a grizzly, they say, damn, he gets busy, yo. I'm like, that's true.
That's a new one.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. It's no Katy Perry.
Nope, but we gotta give it Starring Wanda. I gotta say, to me, Rock and Starring Wanda were like memorable in a way that Top Dog and Louisville Slugger unfortunately weren't as memorable.
Okay.
Either way, the track ends is pretty dope. Fab 5 slam from the east to the west, y'all. I'm on the east. That's what's up over here in Montreal. We're East Coast. That's what's up. I give it obviously a 4.5 because like
that's what you do.
Basically committed to that for a lot of the tracks on this. Did you give a grade?
Yeah. Now I'm ready to go on the Prowl.
Like a cougar. I just called you old.
Rawr.
I just wanted to say I Googled and realized how wrong I was about the boot camp click. So see, I can Google and do it after the fact, after talking embarrassing stuff. Mm-hmm. All right, Bonnie, how do you feel about this track?
Well, they will like spit rhymes against anybody. Like that's kind of what they're saying. They're just looking for people to challenge them and that they can like battle it out against them. And this one really does sound like they're on like the prowl, like they're looking for people that like want to like rap battle them, I guess. And
oh, they are all part of the boot camp clique. I was wrong.
Oh.
But there's just more people in the boot camp clique.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's like they're on the prowl, and I liked that it kind of gave that effect and like that feeling because it definitely, I think that's really cool. So well done to that. This one sounds, again, like particularly like grimy, raw, underground. It definitely like has that kind of feel. So if you like that, definitely check this one out. I think that this one has some like really impressive rhymes. It's really like well made, well wrapped. It's creepy and it's like dark sounding at the same time while still having like a fun beat that's enjoyable to listen to. So I just wanted to see what I think that I wanted to like pull up some of like the lyrics. Or the lyrics. I don't know why I called it lyrics. But yeah, I just thought I don't think there's anything that necessarily like stood out to me, but I liked them. I thought that they were great.
I was about to comment, like, I was going, Louisville Slug is here. And I was like, damn, there's a really great part of his verse. Until I realized it's Rock's part of his verse when he goes, Louisville, do he ill, snap you in half your crew, back smack a few. And I'm like, oh, that's Rock's part.
Like they're sort of like playing with each other. And I think that it's like fun that they're doing that. And like they're, like while like the main person is like maybe like battling, like they're like their buddies kind of like throwing
feel
in.
like it's kind of bad that the best part of dude's verse is actually the dude that's backing him up on the verse.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, I'm flicks pain like a stress brain, having a migraine, heads talk trash, walking past like anorexic, patients laced up, overdosed in the exits.
I mean, I thought they were kind of cool.
It's alright. It's not as cool as the Louisville, do he ill, snapping half your crew. I don't know, there's something about like the writing that I feel like the way Louisville writes it doesn't flow as nicely as the way Rock and Rock write it. I like just the way I read it out, right?
Okay.
Like with the way the words feel together. Like maybe I'm just being a dick. It's entirely possible. I don't dislike it. I actually think it's a good verse. I think it's really like proper. It's not like I'm taking away from it. It's just my whole point was my favorite part of the verse is Rock's part of the verse, not so much.
Well, Rock is pretty
his.
great. So,
Absolutely.
And that's why he made this album.
But I do, yeah. I guess the way that first verse flows, Rock comes in and then Louisville comes in and then passes it back and they flow it and it's really cool.
But it's sort of like guys like stepping up, like, you know, like they're all kind of like challenging each other. I like that kind of how it had that feeling to it. I don't know what it was.
I like when he goes, I'm caught up in a zone of my own. I roam, run my fingers through my hair and give air to my stone dome and analyze who to tear through. I dare you. I don't know. It just has this edge to it, which I really like.
Yeah.
So I guess it's one verse in total and not so much two. Anyway, you know what? I'm going to keep moving on. Sometimes you look at the lyrics after the fact on the Genius page, which I do because I can't fucking remember everything when I'm talking about it. And I think the lyrics is a huge part of it. So... sometimes you forget as you're talking.
Yeah.
Then there's a little chorus. We see in the dark like an owl. Daytimes used to plot schemes for the night prowl, out to eliminate those who live foul. Daytimes used to plot schemes for the night prowl. I thought it was a nice hook. I think Rock has a good voice for this kind of thing. I like the fact that, you know, it's almost like in the day they plan out the moves on the night and they're used to the dark and they prefer it and they come in. And owls are cool. We were looking up owl sounds trying to figure out if owls were in our neighborhood recently. We couldn't decide what the owl of our neighborhood that you heard was. But
I don't think we've heard it ever again.
So the owl came through one time. That was nice of it. And then Ruck has creep, stalking, weed, coughing, burgling, make me wonder why I'm not sleepwalking, peeps talking, I hear them as I walk by, but they all die. I'm fortified with the 4-5. It's nice. It's really nice. I suppose this one is a little bit maybe because he's burgling, there's a little bit of him doing malice towards others that we haven't got because burgling has a different level of if you fuck with me, I'll kill you level of crime.
Okay.
That's fine. We can get past that. No need for intermission. I need trees in my system. Cut down to Dumont and I head through Bristol Park with my PNC for some yard to spark. No need to get hyper. I CC Cypher. Power on the corner fucking with my every hour. And then he moves on to how if he devours both people who want to test me and defy me, it might be Giuliani or the Illuminati. And then when you look at Giuliani today and you see him as like Trump's lawyer guy and you think about how he gets brought up back in like the 90s and stuff and you're like, that's the same guy.
Yeah, he was probably friends with Trump then too.
Was he like grimy in the 90s? Like I know him as the guy with he was the mayor during 9/11, right? So he got a lot of like he fixed the city. That's all I fucking know about the guy until all of a sudden he was Trump's lawyer and I'm like,
and I think he was the one that like I remember like a story where like in New York City or something there was like they stopped selling like 1 gallon like super gulps or something, and everybody was all up in arms, and you're like, you can't take away our drinks. Like, you really don't need that much drink. But
Ooh.
that's the whole other thing. That's what I remember. I think that was him.
I like the last couple of lines. Seeing through shiesty shit, shining like I'm solar. That's cool because he has good vision, wisdom, and shit. And he shines like the sun. Penetrate through darkness, bounce like I'm sonar. So now
Like
it's
a bat. See?
Yes, Batman. And then there's one more verse with Rock coming through. One click, stomping on the pot that's so hard. Ain't no smiling. We up against the odds like Phil Collins. And I like that because it's cool to reference stuff like outside of the sphere of hip hop and to really go and be like, yo, Phil Collins has got good music too.
Yeah, he does.
And it's alright. The song's kind of in the same vein of stuff. I feel like the lyricism's on point. Chorus is proper. It's another 4.5. I really I'm impressed that we're on track 14. And honestly, I feel like every song is a fresh experience that's enjoyable to listen to. And I think that's one of the true marks of like a timeless classic. Like that kind of shit where the focus on wordplay, the excellent gritty aesthetic of the production, all of this just aged in a way where, damn, this is a great album. Speaking of great, the Grate Unknown is the next song, but it's a different kind of great, maybe. Oof. It's like just when you thought they were out of ways to make me go, damn, that was really impressive. The way Rock starts off the verse is just ridiculous. The flow is fucked up. It's like swift and changeable. No style be Rock style, which is a cool line. What he's saying is he's a versatile motherfucker that is able to keep changing it up.
Yep.
He's flow like a butterfly, sting like a scorpion. That's powerful because scorpions are a little more strong and deadly than a fucking bee. That's what I'm trying to say here.
Well, unless you're allergic to bees.
On the tip of a sick ding-a-ling, bring the noise with your peeps. We up in this space deep with nines like Starfleet. And I'm like, he just made a Deep Space Nine pun. And I'm blown away. That's the line of the album, people. Line of the album. Because, yo, Deep Space Nine is a good show. It's basically the Israel-Palestine conflict described through aliens.
Okay.
In the 90s. But, yo, in this space deep with nines, it's just too good, man. We need more Star Trek bars out there. We need more cool Star Trek bars. Not bad ones. Cool ones like this. Ah, shit. Garbage. Ash rappers. I'm like, it just gets better. Okay. It's really good. And then I turned this raw upside down cloud. Watch me, and I'm like, wow, that effect, the way he paused it all on the clown was fucking cool. Watch me and you'll get the picture. If you don't understand why I beat up Mr. Flipster, I deliver a nines. And I'm just like, they just keep doing it, Bonnie. They just keep killing it with the flow and the ridiculousness. I mean, Machete will chop that beef you poppin' and feed it to my dog and follow the trail of the broken backs. At the end, you'll find me stand with my blackjack with a Smith & Wesson on my side smoking, not the gat. And then, because that's his, like, the squad, Smith & Wesson.
Yep.
And I'm like, this is really good, man. It's just really proper lyricism, really proper intensity. I don't know what else I could really say about it except to continue going on about how amazing the rhymes are, I guess. But,
yeah.
Yo, who's the crew with the jewels trying to front your money, your life, and war's all I want? Bring our beef to bedrock. I got my gun. It's soft and has burger buns. And I'm like, you know what is soft, Bonnie? Burger buns.
Unless they're toasted.
Or unless they're stale, and then they're hard. And I guess you could be hard like burger buns, too. And because, yo, burger buns can get hard like...
Nobody wants a hard burger
but they
bun.
can get hard like a rock. And Rock said the line. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an insane shame, and you can ask Ricky Scheme or the Big Cheese. We sweating no shorties and getting green. And I'm like, is that a sweating in the oldies line? I don't know who Ricky Steam is, to be honest.
Ricky Steam?
But it made me... what's the sweating with all these guys? Isn't that Ricky somebody?
Richard Simmons.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I just pictured that when you said that. I was completely maybe just running my imagination. Either way, I really liked it a lot. I don't have a lot more to really comment on it. I thought it was cool when he goes, born in a place so far away it's prehistoric, bedrock, like the Flintstones. No regular man survived after he saw it. From the age of stone to the age of chrome, from bedrock to bucktown, my fucking name's known. That's true, Rock. Your name is known. Rock, at least that name.
Yep.
I really don't know your government. Your government name. Still, that's fine. I like this track again. It's another 4.5 on 5 for me.
Yeah. I mean, this is just sort of like, more of the same a little bit. They're tough. Their crew can go against your crew and like battle it out, and it's gonna be violent. And it's gonna, you're gonna leave everybody in like a bloody pile, basically. And they're basically saying that they're well known for being amazing, and yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got a nice beat. I didn't find it too bad at all, so I gave it a 4.5 on 5.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I guess there's one more song before another skit on this project, and it's the last song on the project before that skit.
Yep.
It's called Operation Lockdown. All right, Bonnie, how do you feel about this track?
Well, basically, like, all of their crew has kind of crept in, and they are going to surprise attack you. So it's pretty cool. It sounds kind of like a violent gun attack, I guess, sort of. And that's basically what it is supposed to be. So it's pretty much the same sort of vibe as, like, a lot of the rest of the album. But it's still pretty cool. And they're definitely, like, letting people know and, like, letting everybody know who they are and what they're about and how they can't be beat and they can't be taken down and they're the best. And, it's proofs in the pudding, I guess. So, Rock's verse is sick. Again, loving him. It's just like really cool just to like listen to. Like it just sounds cool. It's very easy and enjoyable on the ears. I like it a lot. Which is also not necessarily something that I always expect or one always expects from hardcore, grimy, underground rap music from like the 90s. So, I liked it. It was fun. It was, pretty cool stuff. I gave it a 4.5 on 5.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. From what I can tell, the first verse seems to be like introducing the crew, like the boot camp
reminding
clique.
us of them.
So it went down like this. One little snuck through the door. According to Genius, this is about Buckshot, who started it. Peeped the scene, sniped a few more, then crept with 2 more. Smith and Wesson were next. Apparently, after the next dude, heads were getting nervous. That's 3. They want to break north. Too late. 5 more. Tore the door straight the fuck off. That introduces the Fab 5. Next to them, so now there are 8 soldiers getting in Mo ass and splinters on raggedy benches. Since it's word, this ain't shit sweet. This click, disperse, and they transform to chess pieces. And that's interesting. It's almost Wu-Tang-esque in the idea, right? Like, we are soldiers playing this battle of hip-hop, and we collectively are going to move to, approach the game more strategically and smart as, like, a cohesive unit. You can't fuck with us. Now, maybe they didn't last as long. I don't really know if the boot camp clique is quite as prominent as the Wu-Tang, but damn, like, the approach is really smart, and this is powerful lyricism. I only say that because I don't see a lot of boot camp clique fan groups standing hard over it the way Wu-Tang fan groups stand pretty hard. Like, yo, man, you got to follow some of these Wu-Tang Clan fan groups on Facebook. If you haven't, you should check that shit out. It's meme city. Like, for real, the same people get excited over, like, the same 5 basic memes, like, 85 times a day. Like, it'll be like, these guys can't rap. These guys can. And it'll always be Wu-Tang on the bottom. And then it's the same, yep, these guys. And it's the same, like, 50 people in the comments every time just standing out over it. And I'm like, yo, for real, how can you get off on the same meme, like, every day? Just seeing the same meme.
People love it.
I don't know.
They're hardcore fans every single day.
Anyway. Then Ruck comes in on the second verse. On fake grounds, never spare clowns. Ruck and Rock be the rooks, hold the square down. Back to the map. Anyway, are you prepared now? I tear down any opponent who simulate. Styles buck wild, meaning your ass I obliterate. And it follows through that we gonna fuck up the fakes. Essentially, we are powerful. And if you want to come test the Inflictor, I got your name, number, address, plus your picture. I thought that was pretty cool. If you really want to fuck with me, I know exactly who you are and I will destroy you. And then, this is the BCC. NDD and 90 now. We lock it down. This is the BCC. And it just kind of chants it out for a while. And it's really earwormy. I don't like it, but it's really earwormy. And then, peep my words. Yes, my heavenly words. Word that get locked up in the 73rd. Prefer to chill, but the sun can't do that due to my temperature. Tempted to bring it where your crew's at. Again, just powerfully flowed together words. Can't fuck with them. My occupation's Operation Lockdown on your radio station, whoever got the hot sound. So in case you were wondering, they're going to lock down your radio station. That's the whole point of the song, a strategic attack. And then there's another verse where I didn't really get why he brought this up, but Rock goes, we've no fresh y'all, I did do I guess y'all, I didn't say I doesn't indeed sex, I never measure, ready to wet y'all. That was a convoluted fucking backwards way of, I think, implying he fucks. I don't really get what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
But it's just so weirdly worded. But it's cool. I don't know. Then the song kind of just flows into the outro. And they just kind of chant it up. And they just keep going for a while. And you know what? I guess it's the end of their album. A little bit of Shout Out Love. The weak do not stand a chance. This I promise you. BCC. Anyway. Another 4.5 because it's fresh as fuck.
Yep.
And then, yeah.
Now we just have the outro to check out.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So, I didn't really find the lyrics online for this, unfortunately, so I can't really quote it as well because I was fucking lazy with my transcribing. But it's almost like they found this random old guy. And he's just kind of describing some stuff and how times have changed a little bit, how music used to be this thing where you would jam out and everybody has a good time.
Yep.
But essentially, these new rappers, these new hip-hop acts are kind of bullshit. He's just like flat out, everybody's fake. The things they're saying is almost toxic.
Because they also talk about, if he's sort of if you're really using drugs like that, you wouldn't say it on your song.
Yeah,
he's kind of calling out, the rappers who, talk about, all the crazy stuff that they do.
They didn't know what was coming 20 years later. Where, Percocet, Molly Percocet, big funds, Percocet.
And that is why I didn't take Percocet.
She got a Percocet prescription and refused to fill it. I'm like, this is really bad of me, but I'm like, at the very least, that's money. And she's like, we're not going to distribute pharmaceutical narcotics like that. We're not going to do. I'm like, damn,
sorry.
I'm certain there's something.
I'm not going to be part
the other
of
hand was,
drug habit.
Why don't we maybe pop a half one and see what's up? But
I could have taken a whole one and it was totally allowed.
Anyway, I've never done a painkiller in my life, and the curiosity in me is real. But I
was curious, but I'm like sometimes when it got real bad, I was
it's just how often do you get a clean prescription for one of those drugs rappers rap about? Never. I've never had one in my apartment before, even if my name wasn't on it. Wisdom teeth. Anyway, so the dude's kind of pointing out, I guess, the shamefulness in a lot of what is being presented lyrically through it, and then ending up with, but I like the boot camp guys or whatever. And it was really funny the way he said it. They're the real deal. They're authentic. I respect what they represent and who they are. And if you think about, I guess, a lot of other people in 96, I imagine this is when a lot of the druggy stuff was really starting to come into fruition into the mainstream.
Wow.
I mean Pac had already been around, Biggie's already come at this point. Yeah. Stuff like that has kind of moved up. Everybody's smoking blunts and shit.
Yeah, but they were talking about smoking weed in the 60s.
On wax?
Absolutely on wax, on actual records. Because it was the 60s.
I mean, rappers? I mean, we can talk about how...
rap.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When we look
but there
at...
were other people singing about doing drugs. and LSD and all
Everybody.
that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
it's
but then you
talking
were,
about doing drugs
but you were
isn't
allowed
new.
to do drugs in the 60s. You weren't allowed to do drugs to the same amount in the 90s. Like, that's actually a point that I go on about a lot with people.
I think different drugs were allowed.
Well, it's weird how, like, a lot of old...
Psychedelics are okay, but anything
Psychedelics aren't okay now.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, back then it was like, psychedelics are okay.
No, you can do
but
anything back then. But if you think about the 70s even, it's okay to do a bunch of blow and fuck some hoes. That was respected back then.
Of course. It makes that's good sense. 1970s.
Anyway.
Coke.
But either way, I've always often been baffled by the fact that old cats today, and I say like the 40s and 50s people, like the guys or women at that age, who are like, music sucks now, but don't do drugs. I'm like, yo, the music you like is the byproduct of an orgy of drugs. If you really want good music again, let the people do the drugs again. I'm not advocating drugs.
I think people are doing drugs. I think they're just doing different drugs.
I do think the Painkillers making shit music. Like, Painkillers are not good for music. It's made our pop really bad.
Well, have you ever seen Intervention? They like do heroin and they're just like...
No, I don't watch Intervention.
They just sit there and just like...
No, but like painkiller music has not been fun. At least like
fun.
weed music was really cool. And I have to give it credit. Like, rave Molly music, it's aight. It's got an energy to it.
I bet you people on crystal meth can make some crazy music.
It's probably the same as the coke and the speed people.
Nah, because they're all seeing like ghosts and talking to walls.
Isn't
and
like
stuff.
crystal meth just like a upper, like a serious amphetamine?
I guess.
You guys
I
are
don't know.
probably
I feel
like,
it's
where the
really...
fuck did this conversation go? That happens a lot in my life. I give this a 5. This is, I know it's not the best song on the album, but I was blown away by how they went about making their criticism by taking somebody that you could say is an elder and having them do a social commentary and basically take shots at everybody in a really honest and sincere way, and then end it with that hook coming back in. So as a song, whatever. But as like a concept, it's one of the nicest skits, I think. And I found him fun to listen to. Like, it was a lot better than Getting Ass.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's sort of like it's a wrap because they wrap it up on this one. So it's kind of funny, like the things that they are talking about. I don't know who it was that was talking with that accent, but I thought it was fun. Like the whole thing wasn't, kind of goofy and fun and like a good end of album. I gave it a 4.25 on 5.
Alright, so for the project, I gave it a 4.53 on 5. This is undeniably a classic project to me. Lyrically, it's on point in a way that even the lines where it dates the album don't feel dated. Like, it isn't corny, like I referenced the tagline of a commercial. It's more like...
Which they also do. Like, they also definitely reference, like commercials.
Yes, but it wasn't done in like a stupidly corny
No, not corny, but I think some of it is dated, but it just doesn't also feel dated.
That's what I meant. Like, it just feels more like culturally significant dated stuff. Not like that obscure crap you've never heard of that was only popular in that one TV show in 1972, that one time that like you only saw when you were 8 and I was only some eggs in my mom's ovaries.
Yeah.
Semen's pretty quick coming. It's not like that shit ages, so in that end of it, I came out the day, the day of. Bonnie's like, let's just get this done. Album's fantastic. Production is grimy, gritty, but like on point. The way they fuck with flows, the way they're everywhere with it, the wordplay, the rhyming. This album alone could teach a fucker how to rap.
Well said. I gave this a 4.358 on 5, so that's 87% for all my mathletes out there. I mean, I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really like an interesting, kind of like dark and grimy, but kind of goofy at the same time, but still saying something. Like, just sort of overall album. The sounds, rock and rock. They're both great. Love them both. I mean, they really are, like, I'm looking forward to, like, exploring what else they do. And what else they have done and what else is going on. So I don't know. I really liked it. Thanks for suggesting it.
Yeah, so thank y'all for watching. Totally appreciate you joining us on our first boot camp click journey album, Heltah Skeltah Nocturnal.
Yeah.
Thanks, Coney Sparks, for recommending it. If you want to, you can leave a little comment telling us what you thought. If you have any commentary, criticisms, feedback, all that good shit, we'll respond. So I'm definitely going to do that. And I look forward to the conversation and seeing what we can talk about in the comments down below. Or you can hit the like button. That'd be real cool of you. Or you can hit the subscribe button, which will also be fresh as fuck. And special thanks to the patrons, Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black, Hurricane, Linda Williams, and Coney Sparks, who recommended this episode. They dope. They get the power to tell us what episodes to review. They get like 4 a year that they get to do. So if you want to join up, you can do that too. They helped us get a new camera. We're going to be getting a Squarespace soon. We have a website. So if you have a YouTube Squarespace promo code, let me know. I'd rather support a not as famous person. I'd rather support somebody who watches this show. That's all I'm trying to say. I don't even care if you're a famous person. Let me know. Squarespace promo code. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to help us get to the next level. We've got some plans. It's taking forever to organize and move stuff out because the downside of spending a lot of time producing this show is it doesn't leave a lot of time for a lot of other stuff. So
True that.
it's been a little hectic. Either way, we're excited to be at this. Bonnie's mouth is recovering, so no more missing stuff for wisdom tooth surgeries. And we look forward to the future.
Ready to go.
I dropped a single, that's right, I make music, on this channel recently, so you can check that out. And I'll be dropping an album real soon, and we're going to be sending that off to the distribution peoples to give it to the Spotify's like within a day or two. I'll be hitting the payments on that to get it out. So in a couple of weeks, that'll be real cool. We'll do a little album listening party up over here. Thanks for all your support. You guys have been wonderful. Have a great week, day, night, whatever.
Bye, guys.
That thing.